Sitting safe Farelo ya
Church unity, mtawa inawapenda usuli kwa kushedela mshaka imatadana kuloria amanskral and then sana kama presbyterian is supporting karbi of by the SFTN other outreach imatadana ekalendere na unza shukuru bakela baba vai na baba kanga kudi baba takirili vai ser lava kwa sehemu na tatana adui asos bi baba tabarkai asna tatana ma ile kabari akana etin biblia tinggal ko ni bisa kuonza kama tatana lava ai kama kumwena bona kama nenda success la kisia isiwi ya tatana ngata tatana SS mabasa lava ai
Anti Jesu, ona, ona. Anti Jesu, ona, ona. Aketa maya, tata, ante, ona.
This time, even I mentioned the Congress kuba mina lo-architecture ngilula leswi sweswi kusubhaliwa kanenza misava last time kereke transcendent hiwini hikuva va vitane lava kotaka ku phata va phata kutani mara namukhaniseni vale ku kuleni bava nga wena setivi hayi hambi ukhandakanisa mina mara ni pfumeleleni hi ku na tora ra ku ka swivulavuri leswi ni rhamba ku yingisa swin'we swivulavuri leswi xana hi lava hi vulavula hi mani ndlela ku languta matimu ya xivulavuri leswi ni kuma ku hey 15 minutes leyi nga nyika milawu yo n'wi tivisa munhu loyi hi ntsanana hikokwalaho ka mbilu ya yena ni ku ni to tshaha xidyondzeki xivulavuri professor P.L. Lumumba a ku loko u lava ku tivisa munhu don't waste time, don't frighten people. Hi matimu ya yena munhu nyiki nkarhi wa enough leswaku vanhu va n'wi tiva hi leswi a nga ta vula swona kumbe leswi a nga ta va dyondzisa swona hi ndlela yaleyo ni ta madodana ni pfuneni amukela jaha ra le timhangeni i munhu wa nkuna ku nga ri nono jaha ra mxwana Dunia matut tanah mau punya wena hilang. Ini saya terus mengenalan dulu ngabulan ke satu syana. Itu buat belen, itu buat itu buat masyarakat. Ini matut tanah. Ya,
Well, I was asked to make a presentation on the Christian perspective on the Middle East. Let me just from the onset say, and I'm sure I'm allowed to rely that the bulk of my presentation in English. Am I allowed? and on the other, Muslims of Palestine. And from the onset, let me answer you, my dear Secretary, that my answer to that question is it is not. This war was occasioned by all sorts of motives and interests other than religion. It's not about scriptures or religion. But what convenient mention of the Torah or the Bible is being made to justify the genocide that is being visited upon the people of Palestine. So this is not about which verse, either in the Torah, the Quran, or the Bible. You must just understand the history of that. In order not to create confusion in our minds, I think a useful starting point will be a revisit of our Sunday school lessons of the Bible. In the Old Testament, and you can open Mahulaman now, I'm not saying do so, you can do so later. The term Israel refers to the territory ruled by various religious leaders during the time of theocracy and monarchies when the kings came in. The maps of the Old Testament always use the term Israel. But what is telling is that when you look at the maps of the New Testament, the very same area is being referred to as Palestine. That's what you look at. So, the area in question is Palestine. And that's where you call the Canaanite land or whatever you may call it. But that is Arab land. But again, it is a historical fact that the Jews lived in Palestine from around 2000 BC. And up until 1030 BC, the rulers of the Jewish community were what you call theocracy. It was your priests and all the religious leaders. The first monarchy was only established in 1080 when Saul became king. And that was a request that they made to God, that they want to have their own king. Because of what they saw around them, the people they found they were being ruled, not by spiritual leaders, but by kings. So they approached the Lord and said, we want kings, and he allowed them to have them. So they were ruled by these kings. It wasn't for all that long. In 586 BC, well anyway, before I come to this, the temple was built by Solomon in 950 BC. Around 586 BC, Nebuchadnezzar captured that area, the Palestine area, and it was under his control. And from that time onwards, the rulers of that area were others other than Jews. They were Arabs or people of other areas. So Nebuchadnezzar ruled over them. In 538 BC, he was defeated by King Cyrus, who ruled over them. In 333 BC, Alexander the Great, the Macedonian Greece, the Greeks established control of Egypt and Palestine. So, come to just before the time of Christ, in 63 BC, the Romans took over control of that area. So during the time of Christ, some people sometimes confuse Herod and think Herod was a Jewish So he ruled, Rome ruled over them up to, I think just before around 600. In 135 AD, the Jewish population was very small in that area. As you know, the Jews wanted to move and go to all sorts of areas of the world. So they were very few. And Islam was founded in 610 AD. Now, I don't know what that is. And after the defeat of the Sassanids of Iran and Eastern Roman Empire, the land of Palestine was ruled by successive Arab Islamic empires. Then come what you call the Ottoman Empire, which was an empire by the Turkish. This empire took over and they put that area of Palestine under their control for 402 years, from 1560 to 1980. Served only for 9 years, when the Egyptians captured Palestinians, but they were defeated and the Ottoman Empire was restored. So the population of Jews between the Roman and the Turkish rule was around 50,000 in that area. And this is a very tiny minority if you compare with the population of the Arabs at that time, the Palestinians. So, and there's no evidence that at that time the Jews were being stricken. For that matter, all of them, including the Romans, allowed them to practice their own religion. That's why when they wanted to have Christ killed, they were the ones who were leading the charge, and they went to Pontius Pilate and said, he did this, that, and that. And he gave Christ back to them to go and kill on their own. So, at the beginning, or at the end of the Ottoman Empire, around 1917, the British came into the picture. And the League of Nations, which is a forerunner of the United Nations, developed a mandate for Britain to rule over Palestine. And they ruled from 1928 to 1948. It's 1920 to 1942. And on the 24th of October, the United Nations was formed, and then they developed what we would call an exit mandate. So during the time of the British control, in 1922, there were only 84,000 Jews in the Palestine area, which amounted to about 11% of the population. By 1948, the census shows that the Jewish population had grown to 872,700, which equated about 40%. And the question is, how did this come about? But if you, I don't want to bore you with too many details, but go and search for what is called the Balfour Declaration, which is a declaration that Balfour wrote to Rothschild, who was the representative of Britain overseeing the Palestinian area. And that declaration was influenced by what I will talk about later, the so-called the founding of Zionism. And we must understand what Zionism means. In short, Zionism means return to the so-called Holy Land, return to the Jewish land. So, after Britain took over, the Palestinian Arabs and the Jews kept on having this friction. And during the mandate, that time, there was an Arab revolt which started in 1936 to 1939. What was the Arab revolt all about? One, the Arabs were demanding independence because this is their land. It's Palestine, Arab. Two, they were opposing the open-ended immigration of Jews to come and increase the population of Jews in that area. It was a deliberate act. That's what Zionism is about. Three, the British were pretending that the Jews were coming in and they were buying land. But there was no land that was being bought. The British were just giving them land. Because they were part of Zionism, which is about the establishment of a Jewish national home. This was started in the 19th century by Hertz. So in 1920 again, there was a battle, what we call a high battle, where an enemy attacks occurred between the Jews and the Palestinians interchangeably. So the Zionist organization was started in 1897 by a chap called Theodore Hertz, aiming at establishing a national home. So the Jewish insurgency started in 1944 towards the end of the world. And you will understand why it was this time. Because what was happening now, during the so-called Holocaust, all lands that were part of the Allied forces of Britain where there were Jews were encouraging Jews to come in and be a major part of the population in Palestine. Incidentally for me, this is a subject that has been quite familiar in my home because my father was deployed to Palestine during the Second World War. So Palestine was of interest to us. So come 29 November 1947, a resolution was passed to establish a two states, one for the Palestinians and another for the Jews. And immediately after this, at the end of the Jewish mandate, on the 15th of May 1948, an they declared an Israeli state. So from that time of Nebuchadnezzar until now, there was no such a thing called Israel. Israel was a construct that was pronounced upon on the 15th of May, 1942. So I'm mentioning this because Christians have got a naive way of understanding things. You'll talk Israel and the church goes to check the Old Testament and think they're talking about. They're not talking about that. And that partitioning, along which Israel had actually declared its state, did not include East Jerusalem. It did not include the West Bank, it did not include Gaza. Right? So Gaza was not part of what was an Israeli, it was West Jerusalem. Because both of these forces, and you must know, when you talk Christians, I think if I'm not mistaken, I have more Christian on the Palestine side than you have on the Jewish side, on the Israeli side. And you must also bear in mind that if you hear even a Muruti saying it is on the side of Israel because he's a Christian, he doesn't know his gospel because Netanyahu is an antichrist who says this Christ of God is a fake, my Messiah is still coming. So how can you support him on the basis of your gospel? You don't know what the gospel is. So it can't be about. So that's why it in our mind that the Israel in question is not what we have in mind. So Israel declared, the Jews declared Israel, and they quickly were accepted by the United Nations. They were recognized by the United Nations. And what is telling is that even until yesterday, Palestine's recognition was vetoed by America. Yesterday on the 9th of April. When they recognized Israel in 1914. Today, 2024, they still oppose the establishment of the Palestinian state. One of the things that I'm sure the old people like myself may remember it. After they declared their Israeli state, come 1967, there was a 6-day war by Israel. And this war was led by a chap called Moshe Dayan. He was then Minister of Defense in Israel. A warlord of note. The chap joined the army at the age of 14. He's been involved in all sorts of skirmishes. That war lasted 16 years, 66 days. But its destruction is being felt even today. 1967. What was the war all about? It was an invasion of those areas that were outside of the mandate that was Israel. Invasion of East Jerusalem, invasion of Gaza, invasion of the West. And why this invasion? This invasion involved going to get people settled there, kill children, kill everybody else, and take over that thing. That's what is happening, and it's happening on a daily basis. Well, this resolution called for the withdrawal of the Israeli from the occupied territories to reverse what Israel did in the 60s. But it's not all the prime ministers of Britain who are hell-bent or were hell-bent on waging war. You will remember that there was a chap by the name of Yitzhak Rabin. Yitzhak Rabin was prime minister in 1974 to 1977, lost the elections, and he came back again. He became prime minister from 1992 to 1995 when he was assassinated. Let's focus on the work of Yitzhak Rabin. During his premiership, in the last term, when he was before he was assassinated, he brokered peace between PLO, as in Yasser Arafat, and Israel. And what was the peace all about? The peace was brokered by Bill Clinton, and what was agreed upon is that we freeze all new Israeli settlements. Because that doesn't stop, even as I speak now. The invasion is going on. It never stops. Recognition of PLO, because they were refusing to recognize PLO as a representative of the people of Palestine. They signed a full peace treaty, even with King Hussein of Jordan. That's what they signed. And for that, the three of them, Yitzhak Rabin, Shimon Peres, who was Minister of Foreign Affairs in Israel, and Yasser Arafat were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. And shortly thereafter, as Rabin was going around informing the people of Israel about this development, what has been agreed upon, to get their buy-in and further support, he was assassinated by an extremist student. And today, Benjamin Netanyahu is being accused of being complicit in the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin. Even just 2 years ago, the Labour Party chief, elected by the name of Merav Mikhail, at a pre-memorial service marking the 27 anniversary since the assassination of Rabin, repeated publicly this claim or this accusation that Netanyahu is not innocent. But let's understand, because if you don't understand some of these characters, you will not understand what is happening. Who is Benjamin? Benjamin Netanyahu is a Jew. Obviously. He was born in Tel Aviv. I think he was born in 1947. At the age of 9, his family moved to the US because his father was a teacher somewhere in Manchester. And he then still the baby. Yeah? You got it. He also became a soldier at an age. He would come back and enlist in the army and go back to the States and all that. But Benjamin Netanyahu was educated in Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He's an architect. That's his first qualification. But he also has a business degree from the same school, the Sloan School of Business, under the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He also studied from Harvard. He's also his alma mater. One of his alma mater is Harvard. So he is an educated man. And he just had to break short his studies for the doctorate in political science. This he did because his brother was part of the Entebbe raid and he was killed there. That's a subject for another day. But check Entebbe because it's in Africa as to what was happening. It was also in solidarity with the period. So by way of work, he was at some stage a consultant for Boston Consulting Group, where he became a colleague of Mitt Romney. If you remember, Mitt Romney is the chap who, on the Republican ticket, was contesting for elections against Obama. That's me. He was also at some stage deputy chief of mission in the Israeli embassy, and from 1984 to 88 he was the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations. He also became friends with Fred Trump, right? Donald Trump's father. So it's not surprising that Donald Trump unilaterally recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel in his policy. You might wonder where this thing is going with America. But without understanding America's role in all of these things, you will not understand your politics. You look for verses in the Bible and the tell you. So, the occupation of the West Bank, like I said, is an ongoing struggle. In 1993, 92, 93, the people who had forcefully been moved to that area was about 110,000. And today, as we speak, these people who forcefully settled themselves there through their government is about 700,000. And all of this takes the form of elbowing Palestinians out. That's why it's called an apartheid state, where the Boers, if they wanted this piece of land and you settled here, take you out and occupy the way they want. They get back to what settled there, take them out, establish an army. Get back, but Bama settled there, take them out, do what they want to do. And all over the world, and all over the country. So they've been doing it. So that happens every day. So the events of 7 October last year were not isolated events. They were not unprovoked. They were provoked by this nation. And what we must know again, and because they knew that there is that man, they actually said, no, we were trying to destroy this tunnel because of you. And there was no single Palestinian who knew about that place or who stayed there. Because this information comes from within their ranks. But they were prepared to bomb that hospital, kill children, kill sick people to prove a point. And when they had to go to that tunnel, they started by chasing away the media. And they went to take their footage and show their footage. So if you don't understand the geopolitical scenario, and you don't understand what NATO is about, and you don't in particular understand the evil of what is called the United States of America, you will never understand it. I must say again, you look for all sorts of verses in the Bible, you will not find it explained. It's not about it. It's about commercial interest, it's about control. This place is not surprising. Why the Middle East? It's highly contested because of its wealth, because of its oil. So America and its NATO allies have got an interest in this whole thing. That's why in 1980, when they were friends with Saddam Hussein, they armed him to invade Iran and, have war in Iran. You can read about the 1980 Iranian war. He was backed by the US. And they thought they were going to make a puppet out of Saddam. And it wasn't to be. That's why they concocted a lie themselves and said these guys weapons of mass destruction. Meaning that is what what we call nuclear bombs and all. But if you are looking for a country with nuclear bombs, weapons of mass destruction, there is no country that has stockpiled that more than Israel, as we speak. And they are the enablers. They are the ones who supply Israel. And continue to supply Israel. They killed Saddam Hussein. And suddenly all the oil of Iraq no longer benefit the Iraqi people. Because the companies that control that oil are Exxon, it's Shell, it's Mobil, and other smaller American and European companies. So the oil of Iraq, the wealth of Iraq, no longer benefits the Iraqi people like it was during Saddam Hussein's time. And you will remember, because I think we must come to a state where we also are informed about, or reminded, because we know of all these things. Or it was other suggesting that by coming out. What was that? Say so.
No, take your time. Take your time.
Don't you
No, take your time.
I haven't answered your question.
Amaringari.
You are safe.
Okay, all right, no, fine. If you remember, that time, Madiba and Beijing were against this war. That's when Madiba even lost his cool and he said, America has a president who can think with things with his blood, not his skin. He even said of Tony Blair, with whom they were friendly for a very long time, that he is working like he's the foreign affairs minister of the US. Beatty also was very much in opposition of that. But let's come now to Libya. Because all of these things are related. This war is not just one thing. You will remember that during Mandela's presidency, America had started to create reasons for wanting to take Muammar Gaddafi out. They accused him that he's hiding the Lockerbie bomber. You remember the Lockerbie plane that was bombed, was shot down somewhere, was it in Ireland or something like that? They said it was engineered by the Libyan chef, and And suddenly they said, it's a no-fly zone, nobody can go there. Mandela said, I am going to Libya. If I can't fly to where Mama Gaddafi is, I will drive them here. And he went to Mama Gaddafi, and he convinced Mama Gaddafi that, okay, fine, hand over this check, let's see what evidence they have. And that's how he was able to foil that attempt to take Mama Gaddafi. But because it was not about that, it was about the oil of Libya. Fast forward during the time of I think it was Zuma's presidency. Yes. Then, whether it's pure stupidity or connivance, I'm not sure. But South Africa under Zuma co-sponsored Resolution 1973, which gave America wholesale blank license to kill Gaddafi. They tried to oppose. Madiba was already very afraid at that stage. But what do we do? The president of the country, through his minister, was Maita Guadamashawana, would sign it. They co-sponsored the killing of Gaddafi. And they killed Gaddafi. Up to today, they can't show you what human rights violations were there, which they were accusing him of. But let's understand, what is it that made them worried about Gaddafi? Gaddafi had introduced free education. Education was free through and through. Health was free through and through. Accommodation, as in housing, was if you got married, you got a bigger house. That's there was no poverty there. And he had actually constructed a 4,000-kilometer pipeline through the desert to create a river. So agriculture was starting to be one of the industries. He was using the oil money to develop the Libyan people. And he was in control because those wells were under the Libyan control. They were not under any Korean. But today, when Gaddafi gone, where is it going? I mean, that water, expensive as the project was, the Libyan farmers were buying that water at 65 cents a cubic meter of water. Very, very cheap, cheaper than us rivers here. And this, by the way, we must take into account, it was done during Obama's time. So, that we have a black president in America should never excite you. He presides over an evil force. So black, it can be as black as they come against that. Obama's presidency is during Obama's presidency that, by the way, even Osama was killed. So let's now inspect very closely some of the I've already talked about what has happened in the past. But let's now look at the recent happenings. Ukraine and Russia. It's not unrelated. To cut the story short, when NATO was put in place, one of the agreements is that the NATO countries will not add new ones. So there will still be that were member states. But what was happening ever since the NATO countries, United States and its allies, have been recruiting people into NATO. I will not bore you with NATO, but go and read for yourself what NATO stands for and how it works. So, when we, as South Africa, decided not to take a side, and they knew, for goodness sake, we had actually taken a side. And the side was to say, go and talk about this thing. Go and discuss it. Because you can't just go on the way you are going on. Because America, it's wrong, but it wanted us to buy in and oppose and say, we oppose Russia, Russia can't do it, without actually looking at what are the reasons why Russia has invaded. They were stopping NATO from expanding and putting Ukraine into their. So we took that step, and I think we're going to pay a heavy price for it. We took the step, the bold step of going to the ICJ, International Court of Justice. Very much unprecedented. We mustn't underestimate them. Very much unprecedented. And we won the case. But in that case, you must know the wording of the verdict is very careful. The word genocide is being avoided. They can't accuse Israel of genocide. Because when you say Israel or Jews are involved in genocide, you are actually saying the Jews are doing to others what the Germans or what Hitler did to them. So it's okay for us when they are killed by Hitler and genocide, but they can willy-nilly kill people and it's not genocide. And again, familiarize yourself with the movement being led by the Reverend French Ghana, which actually went to Palestine. You will discover that one of the revelations that he makes is that if you are not a Jew but you live in Israel, even your number of places are different because your movements are they can't access certain areas. I think the feeding scheme must wait. Can we wait with the feeding scheme? I will not accept the invitations if next time you invite me and you start giving people bananas. So we must familiarize ourselves with it. And what should we expect? By all means, these forces, for South Africa in particular, they will, and they've already started working. The narrative in the media is that of negative. And I'm not saying so, even if it was the PAC or it was even the DA in charge, it's the truth. The narrative in the media about how useless the ANC is frightening. I'm not saying mistakes have not been made, but if you find 1 million houses that have been built and 3 have got cracks, the media personnel will interview about the crack ones, not the ones that are staying. Already that negative narrative is there, it's in the air. And what do they want it to be? They started by wanting to pop up their own parties, but they know their parties have reached the city because they shot themselves in the foot. But now they are sponsoring parties from within your own ranks to come and stabilize you. You suddenly see parties that emerge today and they are already well resourced and you don't know when they start. So, But if the ruling party can win, I can tell you one thing. The July unrest will look like a Sunday school picnic. Because even that one, it's just that you've got a gullible community of the so-called analysts. Who suddenly say, simply because it's not a week before I released the unemployment figures, they say no, it's because of unemployment. That's why we have this. But of all those analysts, university professors, I don't care who they are. Ask them if they went out to work and ask those people why do they, those people said no, I'm not because that's why I'm not. My daughter was working for one of the national companies there. It's threatening the number of their own employees who they had to dismiss because the footage in their stores picked them up. So you will have something like that. And they control the narrative. They will have your Arab Spring like they said there was an Arab Spring and they still put that up. But what is important is that we've awakened the world. Today, Uruguay which has approached the International Court of Justice to compel them to stop Germany from supplying arms to Israel. We've emboldened a lot of people. The workers of Microsoft were demonstrating, saying Microsoft must stop giving artificial intelligence capabilities to America because Israel is using that to be able to target and intimidate people on the Palestinians. Joe Biden is being shouted down by members of churches whenever I go to the And all of this happens after the South African government has approved that. Now, I already said there is no worse force of evil than the United States of America. Just to cite a few things. If you were to take a tally of the people that killed in Hiroshima with atomic bombs, the people they killed in Iran, the people they killed in Iran, the people they killed in Afghanistan, the people they killed in Libya, and the whole Arab Spring movement and this you will find Hitler's activities are like a Sunday school people. So, what? Well, I'm not a pope, I'm not about the issue of property. But I think one of the things that is not like it's incorrect. We always want and do and only talk about Christ who died for our sins. As we would go about our whole Christian life, feeling remorseful. Sometimes I don't even remember what sins are they that I committed that Christ died. But we are consumed by that narrative. But there is a more correct narrative. Christ died for our freedom. Christ died so that there must be no separation between Jews and Gentiles. What is the significance when one person says, because you are not a Jew, I realize, because it's only when you understand what Christ died for, the way I am. It's not like I'm saying all the time, assume a stance which makes you take a radical exegesis of the biblical text. But I'm just saying, a Christ who died for our freedom actually invites us to fight for our freedom and the freedom of others tirelessly. We must be like Mandela saying, do your damnedest. If you want to bomb me in that desert, bomb me, I'm going to drive to where my mother. You must then be able to say, if our government approaches the ICJ to fight for the freedom of the Palestinian people who are being butchered by the Israeli people, who will support them. We must realize finally, this is our guide, our moment of truth. Christianity is not, yes, it's allowed. It's not only about singing and dancing. It's about being a principled person. It is a for my idea that I'm
Suggestion?
Please. I'm saying this because of the interest of time. They settle down. Yes.
Suggestion from this. Nani kusinga njani inyika 15 minutes. Bana ba brief ka sifutiso swa vona mangaleyi. Hikuloko ku 3 ko ka kuma ku singa teka 3 minutes. Maloko ko unyika maybe either 15 minutes. When ba teki 10 minutes extra ka nkarhi lomu nga ku akhira anenda video. So ani ku maybe loko at 10 minutes instead. It might take 55 minutes.
No. You're supposed to be done as a
Oh, okay. And that was good.
Mfano kwa democratic mfambisi. Ali mfambisi abantu, mfambisi nyinyi.
Inkomo mfambisi toko ngoma switele swivutiso kambe se mayichwisa ndove tani nghena mageni na ku khensa nga khensi dadanka ano kombela ku vutisa tatani Mushwana ni twile lecture leyi mi nga hi nyika yona kambe loko ni yingisisa kahle a ni tsundzuki mi kumba ku why the church is so quiet about this whole thing. Why the church is so quiet about this war? Because loko mo tsundzuka loko mi kha mi toucha mhaka leyi ya Israel, loko hi pfula ka Bibele ka Samuel lo sungula chapter 15 verse 3, laha Xikwembu xi nga lerisaka Israel leswaku va ya va dlaya va Amaleki, va dlaya swihlangi, va dlaya va mana vona na vapapa vona va nga siyi munhu. Even today that verse is being used by the Israelis ku ri Xikwembu xi va byele ku va fanele va dlaya ma-Palestine hi ndlela yaleyo. But yet the church is so quiet about it. Even the Roman Catholic Church, they say nothing about it. Leswi vulavuriwi hi the foreign minister ya Israel recently
No, you can see that. And you do one, I'm sure you know, this book as well, no command language. Nipe lamu Obama, Yanga, Jaya, in Latin. So now I'm just clarity to some America, you in that Japan, Bayo, that in being Umbe, and Stonga Gasheta, and command language.
Inkomo, ikakomela clarity kakwalaya loko the black president Obama ayadaya Osama bin Laden. Bin Laden had owned up for bombing the Twin Towers. So was Obama not avenging them? Loko owning up, he destroyed those two towers. So he vowed we are going to get Obama and eliminate him. Then the whole Old Testament, is replete with Israelites back to David, one man, conquering everybody else's life. But the research but the government people are Maya. Is this conflict there is not emanating from history, there's people who are the Holy Land. Now, David, you go about. I'm from Karawa, so conflict does not emanate from them. And then, what kind of media, maybe this thing of black theology, we touch on Magaya, Christ dying for our freedom, maybe not for secure. Is it not philosophy? This is just clarity. Is that not philosophy of black theology or liberation theology? Vis-a-vis theology, la or practice. In God. Well, why the church is quiet? I think my answer is very simple. You don't have at the moment church leaders who are activists. You mustn't downplay your role or the role of the South African clergy. The impact they have the impact they have the impact they are the SACC and how it influenced the World Council of Churches. All Africa Convention, Churches Convention, But where are those professors that come around and teach in this church? Where are they now? In terms of their brain, where are their brains? Because if you are a professor worth your salt, we should know. You are an opinion maker. Where are they? You are talking about professors that you have everywhere. We talk about the book of Samuel. How do we counterpose that to Christ? What would Christ say about that statement? Where it says you can go on a wholesale killing of people. It's like we sometimes don't understand the significance of Christ. We don't. Okay. All right. I'm not saying the history. It's a violent one. And my understanding, the coming of Christ was pronounced an end to that kind of behavior. Look, where there's no more Jew, there's no more Gentile. And at the same time, those who are not Jews, we can still kill. Is that statement not really hold of him? We are Christians. We are not Zionists who subscribe only to the Old Testament. We must not mistake. Rightfully so, there are similarities. The history of the Western countries is there. In the case of the Jews, do you know what occasioned the bombing of the Twin Towers? What is it that they were reacting? Do you know the history of the US in the Afghanistan region where this bombers came from? It was a horrible thing. I don't want to condone it. But it's not like it was not provoked. Read your history about how what is that organization? Taliban. The Taliban. Are you aware that the Taliban were a creation of America?
Yes.
Are you aware that the Bin Laden family were business partners with the Bush family? Are you aware? Look that up. You will understand these things. You will not just see the bombing of the Twin Towers and the killing of Bin Laden. All I'm saying to you is America is what it is. Don't even get fooled when you have a black president. It means zero. It presides over an evil force. I've already talked about the history of Israelites. Should it be continued? Should we allow them and say the Israelites have already been killing people, David has already been killing people? Would Christ bless By the way, do we sometimes check what the actual charge was against Christ? Umboona utasomesa kwa Good Friday, you will understand the politics behind that. What is it that he was charged for? Analyze that. It's because he was fighting for freedom. It was because he was saying, and Christ, by the way, don't understand him to have been fighting the Romans. If we commented here and there, call it a sideshow if you like. His target were the Jewish leaders who were oppressed, who were not granting freedom, who were making God only their home. Yet he was here to admit everyone. That's why his strategy was to go out and spread the gospel. And by the way, one of the things that we must also understand is that even in how we understand the establishment of the church, the first church that was established in Africa by Mark in 46 BC, not the Roman Catholic thing that we have read. And say that's where the church started. That came much later. 13 years after the crucifixion of Christ, the Coptic church, read about the Coptic church. And this is the very same church named in Egypt. People were bombed by the Muslims in the church. In the Christian Coptic church, the first Christian church that was started by St. Mark. So, but why is this one getting traction? It's because it was started by Europeans, and Europeans have got more money than the Arabs and the North African people. So they were able to spread it all over as part, in most cases, of their colonization project.
I want to clarify another issue. One issue, let us try once again to get the tutus and the Adam Isaac of our time. That one is not an easy task because we have to become a voice that sometimes assists our people to understand what democracy is about. And sometimes when democracy misses the point, we must come out and say, you democratic people, you are missing the point. For now, we don't have that kind of authority with the mayor to consider. The last authority who said point blank and said, we are going to inform God, we are going to pray for you, is just going to be that time. So we need a revival in that aspect. So the number of you, Israel as a nation in the Old Testament, or as a country or a land, we are missing a point in that fashion if we operate thinking that when the Bible in the Old Testament refer to Israel, they refer to a land. We are missing the point. We are what they say as those people, the nation Israelites are missing the point even today. The issue, the first time the word Israel was referred to, it was when Yaakov, Mwana Isaac, Ali, Emanang, the wilderness, but you know what I think about Samuel and our being. Ali Manang, Al-Keko, Tsumiash Kway, Yida, Akaye, Africa, and Reslanayo, and people wrestling, and yila varizirina vakusha sumyashkwevizimitsili nifamba nikuvarasha jama bisara andingakutsili until you bless me. Remember the first blessing Busha. I will make a case before I leave you. Even 2 million, you won't cut the keys in Sudanionga, he came in Israel. So the word Israel in the Old Testament does not refer to land, but also we are correct, we are together in that fashion, but it refers to the blessed nation laying a promise on Abraham. That's what I will make you a father of all nations. That's where we are all included. Say, I New Testament, years of Palestine. I think what we need to research more, equal research about years of even if but the history tells us the Bethlehem related to Palestine. So yes, so in Palestine, if you don't know that, in Palestine, you know that Palestine, and that Palestine, yes, because so I'm not in Egypt. The worship, when she woman they know, so when else I take one or one here, Egypt, that one I can put so it's something that we really need to do as African people to understand, to take pride, to say, no, we are contributing in a spiritual aspect. In Christianity, we are shaping it, we are developing it. Even if our voice is not heard, because we are poor, because we are there, and whatsoever, we must not lose courage to finally continue another kind of what you call. Lastly, we are trying as a church, or especially this younger generation, we have a food Islam, and I'm part of it. And I cannot instate myself Agabani. But you people, we are the one who can make us Bafunis, who can represent the truth. Do not be afraid to affirm us. Do not be afraid to say publicly we follow what so and so is doing, and so is on the right path. Look, yes, I'm saying that we are all free. We are all free. We go straight in prayer. We are free. Unless we do not understand the freedom that is given to us. I want us to transform from looking at Israel as a land, because the land issue was derived from 1948, when those people declared Israel. It has nothing to do with religious aspect. So if we are to attack or to attend to the conflict between the Israel created 1948 plus the Palestinian one, we need to be very clear with how to understand the gospel in both the Old and New Testament, and how to treat conflict, to resolve conflict as and when they happen to us. God bless you, and bless you for us. Continually be happy.
Can you allow me just one comment after Mpundisiwa? Not for debate, it's just a thought. Learning this after Mpundisiwa. Forever affair. Can I just have 1 word, 2 words here?
You are right.
Afema and you
young ministers. You are independent. You are not on a capture one somewhere. Lao fanela kulimita kuwenda ini away. When you are like you are independent. Mingafana na busaka na wama. One example. Look with the Professor Ikomalule, our political community. Do you ever hear him again analyzing politics? Because by that institution, institution. So when we are independent, we should check in. Ubulabula mi barenda mi bana a prophetic way. Akashi mochati. Go.
Yadoba ya pembela, 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 wasita kukongela, wasita kukongela, wasita kukongela, wasita Tera masaka kukongera. Mube. Achimda. Achim.
One way,
One heart.
Okay, gentlemen, we never got spiritual revival. Aka spiritual revival. Shalom. One way, one heart, you went down and got a hand, I went to Katereke, the two remaining items. Then we conclude today's business. You went in and got a hand, we understand comfort break, come the way and it is a usually Chikasana, take a program. Maybe it take a class, but I give a know we can bang you guys are the one. Spiritual revival, I can see we are at the climax of the program. After having been equipped or capacitated by a capable speaker in the name of this, our encyclopedia, never get tired. Yeah, that can be around for Superman. One other aspect that relates to enlightenment. South Africa say you are a sheep. We would like you one day, option to have a moment and talk to us about that tendency of fighting among ourselves. We will say this is we are yourself. Our revival tonight in our leadership revolution. First, in our all our members who have fallen along the way. Some, they are not members of the guild. They are our parents, our friends, our colleagues, and all of you. We shall light a candle in memory of them. The second candle, or maybe before this one, now in case you can foreign and alive. The second country will represent unity and cooperation within the church. Unity, cooperation, or cohesion in the church. They are scattered. The church or the parish has got a name, a parish. Inside the parish there are guilds and committees. Then there's a tendency you operate in isolation. You can connect Nagere, you can choose Kereke, Ihana, Iloko, Yinan Chawali Nazim, and Chawa outscored one, Nagere. Say, we will pray for unity. We want God to revive that spirit of unity and cohesion. And then the last country, we will want to pray and ask God to bless us financially. And to be blessed financially, she's super everyone, he can't take any hands. Take everyone now capable to can sustain the church. No, not necessarily the church, we can sustain ourselves. And then out of us sustaining ourselves, we are sharing what we have been blessed by God with the church. And the church will be able to share its resources with the needy people among the community where the church is found. So the first country, we remember those who have fallen or passed on. We might not necessarily be members of this guild. So the only two names that we have received in terms of remembering our members, be Tatana SS Mambas, now one member, the last one, Central. Na Mashauli. Now our member are Sosby. Budi, Lord Leslie, come and take this country. So on the Central, Salami by standing with our feet, lifting our brothers, lifting their families that has remained behind. They are part of the church. Each time they see us, they are hating. Central are in Christ while she feels the shepherd. Ufana na baba mashauri where in Christ is Sosville are in Christ issues in shepherd. We are called to a higher service. The combination of we kuna we chabela we lika kutise na anakana we are udo kutise mali. Eti kwenda ina imekili ituzukati neena netitinga wa tiwe na sushe wati bora rarbi ana lebesha ku ina la bahana kumfusha kunena ekaina igachabu kulela family yo sushe ya kutiwa kwaina laba bantu beke ayimadimulu ibantu naba bayi dibanseke nawe bahana even when they are with you. They are part and parcel of our life. We claim this land, this victory. You enjoy listening to their stories, knowing that they revive and shaped to develop and to grow. If only the Ghana and Musa right now, I Yesu Kristo usiye. Amen. Bless me now, oh bless me now, my Savior. I come to bless me now, oh bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee. Now, the congregation of the unity in our church and cohesion. The congregation now more want to be together and volunteer in the relationship with I Osi ni katawa ina wena loi hirikura wena unga inika terene leso kibamiri wa wena iamkela bantu labavumelaka ekalekura wena nokurijuzisiwa nakwana andawini leyi yaTshwane ePitori, as we affectionately know this place. Transformatively we know it now as Tshwane. Ikatekile ikuba iparticipative aka process ya this transformation kufika la ikafika kwa imanga echifunza chapendaba in a branch called Tshwane Central. It is the result of this transformation. Leibangu laba akeke endawini yala tobi batwana nendina kuvumelelana ibidoliri rakusaseka raTshwane anavela hosi kuanakanya vamakwenu eAgribinda rito ra wena nakona ri dyondzisiweke vanhu va ri amukela va hundzuka va tinyikela ku seketela rito leri va ri vaaki va le Agribinda hi anakanya kambe vaaki va le Sosville lava hosi na vona va tweke ku chumayeriwa ka rito ra Xikwembu hi malandza ya wena va nga tinyikela va hundzuka va vumba kereke miri wa wena kwale eSosville. Endzeni ka kereke leyi ku ni mitlawa ya va Sunday school, ku ni mitlawa ya lavantshwa, ku ni mitlawa ya vanhwana, ku ni mitlawa wa vamanana, ku ni mitlawa wa madodana lowu namuntlha wu hlengeletaneke eTshwane Central eka Gobela kumbe eka conference ya vona yo sungula elembeni. Ku ni ntlawa wa Blue Cross lowu wa ha kondleteriwaka leswaku tlhela wu yima ku va koho exifundzeni xa hina ku ya fika na le ka Presbyterian level. Ku ni ntlawa wa khwayere lowu korhokaka hi tlhelo ra ku dzunisa loko hi hlanganile egandzelweni ra wena. Ku ni ntlawa wa fellowship wa vamanana lava va kondletelaka leswaku nga vi na un'we loyi a salaka ehandle emirhweni wa ku hangalasa rito ra wena. Hosi hi kombela leswaku tanihi laha hi khomeleleka ha kona eka Yohani chapter 13 verse 20 leswaku hinkwerhu hi va un'we, leswaku vanhu va ta swi tiva na ku swi vona leswaku hi tirha ntirho wa wena xikwembu tata wa hina. Hi pfuni na hina hi ri Presbyterian Parish ya Bhekindaba to be united in all matters of growth, of spirituality, matters of service delivery to the people. And nalega timhaka ta ku khomela vurhangeri bya tiko hi pfuni hosi hi va kona eka xifaniso lexinene xa ku khomelela xa ku aka rixaka hi ku ri khomelela. Hi kombela vun'we, hi kombela ntirhisano, hi kombela ku kula, hi chavisi ku pfuxetana ehandle kambe ku hi toloveta ku karhana, hi tolovelana na ku amukelana na ku tirha swin'we. Hi kombela hi karhi hi tshemba leswaku nkarhi hinkwayo yi tata yi xikela eka hina yi ri leyinene yi huma eka wena Kreste Yesu laha nga velaka ku hi aka. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to. Oh, bless me now. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. Financial breakthrough. Leswaku hi ta va na hi va va languteri kumbe va vatswari va ku antswa hi langutela mindyangu ya hina hi ri na swa le mandleni swo ringana. Xikwembu xi hi chavisa minkarhi ya ku tala loko munhu o kateka a ri na mali i engetela swigangu or a engetela fruitless expenditure. Mali nga ri kona endyangwini the partner u tshembeka ku va a nghena ka adultery ku famba a lavana na mali. Se hi lavela ku madokodela ya EPCSA xikwembu xi va katekisa hi va va sustainable, va ta va na a stable family, va ta va na a stable church, va kota ku contribute, va va na a stable country hikuva xikwembu xi va katekisile hi swo ringana swa le mandleni. A hi kombeleni. Hosi ni tata wa hina, wena loyi ku tikarhatelaka hina hi minkarhi hinkwayo. U hi endlile hi xifaniso xa wena leswaku hi fana na wena, hi va na nghohe leyi fanaka na wena, hi va na vukwembu endzeni ka hina, hi swi kota ku vulavula swilo swi va koho swi humelela swi endleka. Ha kombela hosi leswaku tanihi vatatana lava nga twa rito ra wena va nghenaka ekerekeni ya EPCSA va ri ka xifundza lexi xa Bhekindaba lexi nga na marhavi manharhu na mitlawa na tikomiti leti hi ti longoloxeke. Ha kombela leswaku hi katekisi hi rihanyo lerinene, hi va na matimba ya ku tirha, hi ta dya swa nyuku wa hina. Loko hi kuma swa nyuku wa hina ku hi katekisela swona leswaku swi andza swi kota ku tirha swi hi vuyerisa. Ikhonomi ya hina yi vonaka yi ri uncertain na ku ya ehansi, ku ve i lifestyle leyi nga in question. Because instead of focusing on improvement and saving what we have earned, hi hanya hi leswi hi nga riki na swona, hi le ndzeni ka swikweleti, hi hakela mali ya hina yi hela hi nga se yi khoma emavokweni. Hi pfuni hosi hi ku hi nyika a sound mind so that we can plan and think deep or harder about finances leti ku hi katekisaka hi tona. Hikuva wena wa kula hosi leswaku silver and gold belong to you. Lexi ku navelaka xona i ku hi katekisa leswaku na hina hi ta kota ku avelana na wena, hi seketela ntirho wa wena wa ku hlayisa swisiwana, wa ku hlayisa tinoni, wa ku hlayisa vana lava pfumalaka vatswari, wa ku hlayisa vanhu lava hanyaka eswitaratini, allocate our community, Barban Navaga rehabilitated, Barban Navaga capacitated, Barban Navaga resourceful and helpful, Agapusa Tikorawa, and as support to what the Nagam Lokwena Wosuka Funano, Bishop Baba and Deva Bianca, Lavagana TV, Lopasika, Kumashanu, Pakotaka, who prioritize, Pakotaka, Rangisa Wena, there's one way since Sakasona only that in the day was all. In Anuka chapter 6, verse 38, why it said this was special Wena, which is the way we relationship, she can make abundantly, relationship can way, she was a car, running over. In other words, special man, Dodana, Kajana, Doyagata, Ekerike, Namucha, Eka conference day, Yamadodan, when you such a blessing, Yapana, abundance of life, and something that is running over, there's Kabaka, Shikabela, Eka Jamwayen, Shikabela, Eka things, Dode, Shikabela, Eka, Akalan, Nana, Watrakanabon, they shall be in a safe environment where all of us is determined to be a member of this community. They cannot say, Maka, the interest, Gawena Wosi, Gawena healthy, Unagana wealthy, Unagana strong and ready, Uba is a veteran people. Opening Wosi, Unagana something, Paha, Joseph, Ekasukana Munka, Sukela, Nicho, Ufika, washes, this one in common, but I don't swear. But I'm here, he breaks through the Ipobera. Ipoberi was not a little man, Banana, says, you must sit down. Amen. Then lastly, the Anakanawa Zaka, Mawati, and survivors, letting a call, what I can and then later say, congratulations, the spiritual. And I invite you to touch your neighbor and strengthen one more. I think you just touch your neighbor one more. Jehovah, as a community of faith belonging to the EPCSA, we think of those people who are living with chronic diseases. Some they are at a severe stage where we are unable to connect with the community. Some of us, we are at a stage where we can still connect with the greater community. We want to ask your power to strengthen us and to heal us. Who enter the shop of me, who amela treatment, being work and over that means we need medication. To some of us are in chronic diseases, diseases of Hamana affected. If Takataka meal wine, now we take the relations over this week and it's a show. And compare the Jesu. And it's a meal yaina. And it's a meal yaina. Rubisa Latini Yaina. No, it's okay, Anakana, Mashaka Yaina, overtaking card, overtaking card. Says, he released, we challenge the Shabaina, Tabay Baranzaka, Amalashikam, Mati Tikawe. Father, teach us to accommodate every person who is carrying your image. If only Amtelana, the Sokerekia when it comes heal us from our past, present, and also our future. If only, the vessels, they think that usher in change of mindset. Even the vessels that can usher in healing of our memories. Even the vessels, they think that Urisa, Erika Wene, Winami Moe, Yamafube, Nikushaisa, Lawat Nikila. Father, we ask all these things, believing in the powerful name of our Lord Jesus Christ, who has taught us to pray. All of us, the Lord's Prayer. That our in
But it's there on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, very YouTube, yeah, correct. EPCSA. Okay, so, yeah.
The budget cycle, Yisungula,
yi landzelerisa. I-report leti ti nga sekuletiwa yi sungula i-report ya lembe ximali 2023-2024, ya vumbirhi report leyi fambisanaka na yona that financial report i-contribution list leyi kombetaka leswaku fikelerise ku yini eka xiyimo lexi nga fika ka xona. Yi landzela hi the bank statement as at the 31st of March 2024 loko hi pfala lembe ximali, and then yo hetisela i the draft budget leyi taka yi huma eka presbytery leyi nga ta tsakela leswaku hi kurisana hi yona loko hi heta ku presenta the report. Mufambisi tatana Madali wa finance a hi na a narrative report, so hi to yi vhela hi sungula hi ya eka the report leyi nga na yona. Our allocated budget ya 2023-2024 I comprise one, there's not affiliation sha 450, there's the contribution at 300 rand towards the conference. He comprise the presbytery affiliation ya 1,150. Now make the parish assessment ya 300 rand. So loko hiri kelinda loko ngari endliwa budget leyi. Budget ya member ra un'wana na un'wana ka lembe ximali leyi vulavulaka hi rona eka lavo hi tirhaka a ku ri 2,322 for the period of 12 months, and then eka vakhalabye va hina a va expectiwa 1,000 rand eka lembe ximali leri hi humaka eka rona. The report ya hina eka opening balance ya hina loko hi nghena eka April 2023 hi nghenile hi ri na mali yo ringana 1,184.39 rands. The income leyi nga yi kuma, the breakdown ya kona yi comprises at least being with 8 members lavo a va participated eka the contribution. Loko hi tirhisa that budget about amounted to 18,576. Va kotile ku contributa 14,500 ku va na variance ya 4,076 rand loko hi pfala lembe ximali. So being 14 contributing members, budget ya vona yi ku 32,508. Va kota ku contributa mali yo ringana 16,050. Kubana variance ya 16,458. Tshwane Central with 29 members, budget level 67,338. The actual that they managed to contribute is 57,339. Babana variance ya 9,999. Other sources of income making up Puma. Moving erroneous deposit ya 150, the I deposit interest was big. That one of the expenditure in Uma, Asos big. Kuba Nati Malileti, Loco, Nami Chikeles, Locomela, Nominatu, Namami Chikeles, Nahamas Chikeles. Nobody local, Nam Chikeles, let's put it so as well. The treasurers, the parish level, the Papa Namania, by a Sanabisana, and deposit. So, simply local, he come Chikeles or what perspective. The treasurers, Mami Lodina, Hamas, Krakaban. So, I'll find the deposit. So, unfortunately, when you make a mistake, put it in deposit account. Yeah, I wonder where I expenditure so eka money what only thing that collect atam chikeles iripelita lonkari pamba ba food I collect money on 13,760, and then account ina legal Standard Bank yikuma interest to ringana money ringana 247.95. Lembeshi mali kwa ile inakoleka ikolekile 87,889. Our budget there ilamukele yona with 51 members now I registered. I expect them to ringana 118,422. Bilena variance ya 30,583. fambisana loko hi languta eka leswi eka presbytery a va hi langutele swona hina vamatsalani loko va presenta the report the variance leyi va nga presenta yona a ku ri ka board before ku hela lembe ximali so hi ta lavisana na vamatsalana leswaku va update our variance ya hina hi ri epelindaba eka presbytery hi salele ndzhaku hi mali yo ringana 29,000 loko ni nga hoxisisa around 29,000 so i mali leyi nga ta fanekele hi hundzisela eka presbytery the last time loko finance committee ya presbytery yi hlanganile yi bumelele leswaku na ku hi kolotaka swi nga yi va ti carry over to the new financial year kambe ka ha ri mhaka leyi yi nga ta fanekele leswaku yi yisiwa eka jesco ya presbytery na le ka general ya presbytery for adoption but for the purposes ya ku ri hi kota ku budgeta kahle hi ri pelindaba we need to take that into consideration because lembe ximali already se ri sungurile hi nge yimi yimela that process we will have to make that determination loko hi ya nghena eka mhaka ya budget loko hi languta eka expenditure ya hina yi yimise hi ndlela leyi yi nga calculatisiwa hi swona leyi mahlweni ka hina yi a yi comprise hi ti-bank charges 458 and 10 cent ku va na ya ti-fine ya 50 rand ku va na ti-contributions leti nga ya towards synod na presidential assessment ya mali yo ringana 65,410 parish assessment a hi nyikiwe budget ya 15,000 kote ku yi fikelela a hi salele ndzhaku eka parish level eka swo timhaka ta travel and transport hi spendile 4,565 and 80 cent eka accommodation ku spendile 1,400 vanhu va nga vutisa ku ri accommodation ya yini a ku ri accommodation ya the delegates na ku avanyile eka engineer ya representa parish ya hina eka engineer leyi a yi kona eka he spendile mali yo ringana 1,556 and 32 cents ku va na donation leyi tlangela birthday ya kokwana Zulu ya mali yo ringana 1,000 mali liya ya 150 ni nga mi byela hi yona ku yi nghene erroneously from Sosby ma yi vona hi ya tlhela yi huma eka expenditure ya 150 na liya ya Mamelodi ya Mjikelezo 1,410 yi huma na ya Hammanskraal 2,100 yi huma ku va na the refund ya TR Maluleke TR Maluleke a va hakele mali ya already va hakele mali ya lembe ximali leri hi nga ka yona a va hakele an excess amount so we had to refund hi va refunda mali yo ringana 1,200 so all in all our expenditure yi vile 94,302 and 22 loko hi fana lembe ximali hi pfarile hi ri na mali yo ringana 10,762 and 63 cent mfambisi I'm not sure ku mi pfumelela leswaku mbenyani endla hinkwaswo hi teka swivutiso after kumbe a mi ta lava leswaku hi yima hi teka swivutiso eka financial report inkomu mfambisi eka the contribution sheet I'm not going to go through it ntakombela timembara ku miyama yi languta loko if ku ve na ti-omissions leti nga humelela nkombela mi tihlanganisa na hina va ofisi ya treasury kata na madali na mina hi kota ku lunghisa because swi nga va swi humelerile leswaku ve na ku copeta ka tihlo leswaku hi kota eku yi lulamisa leswi hi nga ta kombela leswaku loko hi ya eka swikombelo na discussion hi ta kombela leswaku hi discussa ku lavu hi nga salela ndzhaku xana hi swi endlisa ku yini are we carrying it over or hi sungula in a clean state loko hi sungula lembe ximali
The last part, ya budget 2024-2025, presbytery allocated generally by the 31st May. Mtotana loko kuna kuba registered member ekanebele ilamukelwa leswaku bayi nesemali yoringana 450 it is 81 kame leyi nga ta va mali ya affiliation at the synodal level, and then by the 31st of July yi expectiwa leswaku bayi humesile mali yoringana 300 rand leyi nga ta ya towards the synod conference, and then he expected one by June. I expect 1,600 towards the presbytery affiliation. The budget presbytery. So money I expect to presbytery is 2,350. So the budget allocate to the parish level. Affiliation parish level I change it's still at 15,000. That 15,000 we divide by 51 members. We get at the region of around 230 something. So the proposal made from the finance will why don't we write around over? He end up 500 budget at the presbytery level. So in that, at that 2,350 plus 500 budget, you buy 2,850 because I know most people are budget in here in Naya, I don't come out of that. The budget per member. So that's the proposal. They need this for the purposes budgeting. At the presbytery level, Pelinda, local budget with 51 members. You expect to have money now 119,850. Economic money 2024-2025. So you are the proposed budget lay Isaka Emergency Uwo lay that are Comela Lesopo Ikanel. Maybe before in Janaka Canel. Budget lay Namutana Canayona achievable. Local if Obana a commitment at least a minimum of 300 rand every month. Enter a commitment about Mana against the court. So now enter the sort of liquid as Mandana. This one that's how we go got money, this one will shooting and all those kind of things. So promise you on a what they present at a conference here in money 2023-2024. Local should be so clarity. She take our families and then we can get out of our family. Siti komba kungana sumutiso families le ranza susumeta le so kuhubo yi amukela.
Sorry. Tameri anini twami kanlampo ina budget ya kumwe tabere 2,800.
2,850. Unless if you go there, you are not going to be around of, I'm not sure, but we are implementing the law with this act.
Yeah, say, loku ichengania ya na magatiri with the pensionara ya family we.
Local Mutunzuka, our last general meeting, I will pay now proposal that pensioners can be 1,200.
1,200.
Yes.
Info.
Income treasurer for the report, Council of Sunan. Ka makalia ya the outstanding money le falenge umesa ka president. Mina lava kusumeta ko let that amount be written off like we did in the past with other parishes. This was that year, 2023-24 was a bad year for Pelindao. As you can see, for Akonet Maratam Anko and all those things. So, I'm from this school. Presbytery, we move up to I combine up Malia right off so that it's in line with
finance already, we tried our best. So you see another comment as well. When we present Jesco, it accompanied that proposal, maybe we have here present Jesco. Menana Tadama Dalia, he is answering our finance. So because the majority rules, so the recommendation being at Jesco, you go in so now why the Nakaka Jesco accompanied that proposal is involved. And for now,
maybe just to check, Igawa imitant the present day, like at the basis, our request in it has happened, a precedent has been created in the past where other parishes did not meet their financial obligations. And now, because it's peeling down, we are expected to meet our financial obligations. So, what could have been the basis that we meet Zanga?
As I was explaining that, remember, when you are in a meeting, majority rules, we presented the defense electoral meeting, presented one, the issue of precedence, the issue it was a half year, but local year vote. We could not remember, you can't push voting or voting vote. So, but in the comment
Ms. Lamre, kambe swi swi khapulana ku aka presbytery level, remember Madoda ka presbytery ba vekela budget leyi nga yi tsandza ku yi fikelela budget yeleyo na vona va expecta ku yi service. So unfortunately ku ve hina va phelindawa a hina ntsena but hina the biggest chunk of the budget, and as Tatana Court is explaining, the finance committee Madodana indicated Mara Anerlega Presbytery, Awai belongs with it. So why not we are still expected to service with the Presbytery. But for me, Chelsea is just technical. How it takes us as I invent that case.
I think American just want to bring up one hour reality. I think what we should be able to say, people unless we have to do God, and like they say, history will tell you. Those shows are so like, I think we should be able to say, the really big one is important. Because you see the problem that you're carrying, people who are allowed to talk. That's what the fundamental problem is. It's membership. Now, look, even next day we will say, wow, $30,000. How do you expect him to manage some money? So, I, Madam Lady, to another they got security money for the sake of security money. Look, who is there? I don't know to still show that. That will be a different discussion altogether. But the essence of it is it's an insurmountable mountain. So that's the reason why there are rules and engagements that must be followed. Therefore, it can't be right to say that if until when you are expected a certain amount, and then at the end of the financial year, you then say, "Kereka, I couldn't deal." Therefore, it means that Nkawano in our John, wouldn't that the constitution, wouldn't now it therefore means that it is futile as to it. It is understandable but let it not become a law. Since we joined in Minam, I think the Marina 10 years, I don't remember us if we particular. And that's a water sound. It's a water sound because it's a norm, because we know at the end of the financial year, it doesn't go off. Therefore, there is no commitment to it. So all I'm saying is, I accept what he's saying, I accept what the Danish is saying, but let it not become a norm. It has become a norm. We don't meet our financial obligation. And it's okay, we'll write it off, it's understandable. Therefore, to me, if we have joined an organization and we are agreeing, similarly, we join a society, you last. Look, what do you join it last? I'm giving an example of your last. So I'm just saying, let us be serious, because this is a voluntary setback. But when you volunteer, you must commit. And when you commit, you must then explain the challenges that we have. But I'm just saying, let us be committed. And then we follow up the obligation. Because if that's the case, everyone will sit and say, no, either I go off, we can't meet our financial obligation because Karaka I couldn't do. And that to me, it's a wrong message that was spreading across. Thank you.
Hence, refinance the commitment to say at least local Dodana at least our committee at least 300 rand every month. It becomes much easier. Local is got order. So we will circulate the banking details. Aging Madodana, let us commit a vision, young fundings, we got our resuscitate our membership, if our committed, our stewardship, the very time as a reminder, we could commit the combination of at least we commit at least 300 rand every month because we committed that 300 rand. We got Kelela, Malay, Kota, he got a farm. Local executive. The executive he proposal at least local one over our message at least 1,000 rand by end of June 2024. That's why we got Makayas not affiliation, we got affiliation parish up until June and then can continue as well. So if one of that commitment, the norm later
Thank you. And then just one, not this issue, it's how we are open the policy.
Inkomo tatana baloi maybe from tatana matebo iko just to stress kuri budgeting system ya nane exaka ematota yi very simple the budget ahi payment so na kupanga tababa committee le by the 31st May 2024 level aye ended that mistake ya kuri famisa na mabito ya la kubanga committee financial because umana iso knowledge sina ngenisa eka ngosile ikumaka kaya so eka sikombelo sayo ya kukombeleni leswaku loko kofika di 31st May 2024 eka ehenhla because as ngulaka ku membership ya hina madodani tsakisa ngopfu because mali leyi yi per member so loko u languta anda vito nyikiwa report kuma leswaku a ku na mali yo ringana 450 inge tihluphi na ku tsala message ya ku hi ku tsundzuxa vanhu because hi kona laha tikweni hi ta fambisa mavito ya lavo va nga ta va va contributile mali ya 450 those will be the members lavo va nga ta va in good standing and then hi ta kota ku maybe hi nga hi votela na le ka presbytery because loko mi languta eka presbytery a hi budgetela as di nomboro leti hi tiyisaka hence loko mi languta pheli ndhawu hi hina hi nga salela ndzhaku hi mali yo tala because hina hi ve honest hi yise mavito honestly in terms of membership leyi nga na yona so but I should think this year hi ta lava hi va maybe hi languta hi ndlela yin'wana to say loko fika nkarhi wa ti-cut off dates timali ti nga si fika we register those who have committed financial tatana mateko
inkomo mfambisi lava kombela ka finance would it be possible ku hi languta our budgeting model leswi nga yimisa swona sweswiwani a yi tshamisekanga hi loko yi budgetiwa hi ku ya hi xirho mathebula wa ta humesa leyi mi nga ka yona lembe leri taka va tsandzeka mara loko yo va yi budgetiwile yi va yi helerile hinkwayo and loko mo tlhelela ka leya last year accommodation was not budgeted. Transport was not budgeted, if I remember, if I recall. Yes, so the cost elements later, look how much factor we sounds of budget then we were cash. They got up one a clearer picture. We look more than what statement last year. Deficit income and expenditure was around 11,000, 10,000 somewhere there. Markup is better equal to 30,000 to one. So if we line Africa, we shall go. So I took on the Mulamta, our budgeting model, to me, Saiva cash. To look me, some set of one who contribute to a man. You cut an research money and this is like perish farm. Secondly, the lovely commitment at 300. 300 pushes us to 3,600. If local can know she's and then we lovely who Milamutela who mess at 2,850. So there's that variation. Laying Nava Guisham Selakuna Swan, so Chelela, who looks up budget there. You will have an analysis, you will mess up so with the material, Yashifons. If I'm by it, Seka, and Salins up.
It's noted that I'm a darling one.
Yeah, Metatuluga, the last general meeting, the lovely budget. You see, the challenge laying and I on a Ibu, National Smith will out Tatana. The Mukmun, our Mesa 450 by rain, Metango register national. The challenge that we have, Ekumun, our Mesa 250, register national, and the big one. And yet, it's a budget based on the numbers that we presbytery is why regular budget 80,000, right? Repelling down. Not repelling down, but rather Madodan as a whole, presbytery. Portion here is based on our number of 51 members. Now, Logomono, register national, and a member, it becomes a problem. So it's what we must agree on. to say it cannot be correct to register a national, but you are not a member. Ya parish, also a member of presbytery, you are a member of national. Na challenge because if you look at Labana Salanda, for instance, we register like 800 avela inokala. So perhaps what we must do, register we must look at whether the past financial year budget with that amount to register the exact number of members. It will not help us. Logumina 500. If this year it will 450, then you will register me. Because we'll continue with this problem indefinitely. So maybe it's something that we must reflect on.
Maybe doing because you said clarification, maybe discussion if I didn't make it.
Sorry, I just want to correct two things. I want to correct the Tanchawalara Kamakalia. I samaye that is not correct. I remember during the treasure shipyard Tatan course. We finished our budget. I think in succession, we finished our budget. The issue later Tanchawalan by we committed with our team member Tanchawalan, but we're not committed to contribute towards Tanchawalan. And that's why we cannot have projects. Namunta I did a presentation about gender-based violence. There are certain recommendations that are made there. And in order for us to realize some of those recommendations, because it's well and good that I present them, and then after presentation, it just ends there. I think we need to take some of those recommendations and implement them. And some of them require money. So that's why the emphasis, by all means, the second point that I want to stand on treasure, in the last meeting, general meeting, we had agreed to minimum by June, Logoba will say 1,000 each. It will help us. But what I wanted to address the issue of budget. Budget already at 24, 25, you will meet with the 51. So whether you are going to go and register 10 members who are registering the rest, you still have to pay that amount because that budget, you may that number, 51, unless if I'm wrong. But the emphasis is that let's go and contribute that 1,000 by June so that we are able to have been registered. Parish, registered, presbytery, registered, casino. And you continue to make those contributions as we are expected up to the end of the financial year.
Yeah, me correct that I'm not sure. Look by the budget national, Nakwalaka president, but there is a number of 51. Why? Because but there are historical figures. But look, social where I register 20. It means next year, but I make a budget 20. But that does not stop us from registering more people. If you look at last year, we budget 198 previously, right? But then we had more people affiliated. We had registering 101. So this year, in February, that's what budget, by the budget year 101. So although by budget they read as a figure based on the numbers, logo ya register, the key thing to logo register value is an so that anybody register logo conference conference here, that's the problem. So, mavito lama hi nga ta ma yisa le ku ta va ku ri mavito ya vanhu lava loko hi twanana ku ri lava nga ta va hi ti-budget va tlhela va humesa the amount leyi nga twanana yona, so that na next year loko va hi budgetela va kha va swi tiva ku this is the number. If we happen to have more people va fikelela, no problem, we will still submit the names. Hi nga yisa ku 200 as long as that.
Thank you, Dr. Shivan, for that explanation. But it seems as if, say, in society, if you remember previously from this, I ran a project at the outreach time, now, if after let's say budget we must then pay the 2,300, and then how then are we supposed to then run up the project? He loses the meaning and power because we are no longer doing anything to the community. It's like our society of Kaitangana, this weekend, we can't do that because therefore, I'm saying the issue in our society, it loses the meaning of why as Matotania, we're not doing anything, we're not making any inroads. That's why how would we grow? Look over something in the community. Let's why when I was going to say conference here, when I come up with that. That's all the program is on. Can we not change that? We will not impact the community. So the issue of budget is serious. So we must not only pay what is needed. If we are not sure what we must do so that we can have outreach. Not that we not, but you understand what is the point, why we affiliated and government. If we can go back to that fundamental meaning, maybe we need to have one day a sermon with what is the effect of what is it that in general show? And I think we have lost that.
I should think
just to add a few, I support the idea you govern a monthly contribution. It just makes it a bit easier in the longer term. And I think everyone, some of us we can pay monthly, someone maybe is getting their money on a day. But I think we do need to have a minimum on a monthly so that we are able to sustain ourselves. Also, I just wanted to say, as much as we are talking here, as Dr. Kamashivan has mentioned, without action, dialogue is just dialogue. There needs to be some sort of commitment from the members. And I also wanted to suggest maybe on a monthly, as treasurer, maybe you put up the spreadsheet, the contributions for that part to give up. It might seem like at that point, but it has a psychological effect on the next person. So for instance, the whole mayor, and in a 2 months, 3 months, sometimes it does work on my mind.
It's noted. Maybe before maybe it's worth mentioning amongst in but they are just the minimum as the Canon Lobby is saying, that minimum amount. We can go far, not and those projects, because there are those people who have been contributing over and above what has been expected. So, if we are a support, one, we enter that commitment from our side. It has circulated the banking details for Nava Squatter. We come in enter those top orders starting from the end of month and then with the year April, because they already whatever see I put the quarter away. No, if you quarter maybe they take that amount, they divide that into quarters. In a quarter of 3 months, not so I'm getting that I'm not just